Good morning. Today is the 31st of January 2023. It's been an interesting last month. Yeah, January has been an interesting way to start the new year. There'll be a lot of changes coming in the new year and changes life, you know. Um, just to give you I'm dropping the mystery now. Obviously, what I've been going through, and I don't know how obvious, but obviously for me, I've been going through a process of rehousing myself. Um, Being disabled adds an added wrench into the process itself. There are some things that I can do on my own, which I have been, and I've been diligently working on what I can do for with my limited abilities. And then I've also been reaching out to services and people that might be able to help me on the other side. That part I don't have a lot of control over, and I do have control over what I can do on my end. And it's just been a diligent, as I think that you guys have been seeing over the past couple of weeks. I haven't been sitting on my, you know, waiting and crossing my fingers and hoping it'll all work out. I've been doing what I can to make it all work out. I think the process is ongoing, but yesterday I had some encouraging news that it'll work out a little better than I thought. Although, just the rehousing is what I'm hoping for, if you follow my drift. I will totally miss uh, the opportunity and the place I've been living in now. Of course, it was my dad's. I was his tenant, and that has come to an end, obviously. And but it was a chance to my dad being my dad. I mean, there was a business and of course a personal side to it. The business side is he trusted me enough that he was always going to get his rent. If you know my dad, you know that when push comes to shove, there's a deal. If you're renting, you're paying. I am not covering you. You know what I mean? And that has never been an issue for 10 years, really, the way it's worked out. The other side of it is he also trusted me enough to be his caretaker of his property. My dad being my dad, and actually anyone who owns property, there's an element of the ownership of the property is the thing, but there's also an element of keeping up with the Joneses. You know, he would not have been impressed had I let. And you've seen me doing the hedges, and you've seen me mowing the lawn. You've seen me taking care of the driveway. I've done all these things, of course, for my dad. I mean, yeah, for the house I live in, you need to take pride in your own existence. But as a tenant, right? That leave it to someone else was always the possibility, but not for me. My dad trusted me with the upkeep, and I think I've done well. You know what? I've done the best that I can, and I'm friendly with all my neighbors. The cops have never come in to say, take care of your lawn, you know, that kind of stuff. There's an element of pride. On some surprise visits, when Dad came to visit, uh, he was a bit impressed with, I must say, and I like that. He was a bit impressed in how I'm keeping up the house. And because it was a reflection of not just his kid, but it was also a reflection of this is my property. Come on, man. Like, you know, don't make me look bad. And I like to think that I didn't, like, as far as that goes. So I will totally miss my current environment that I've been living in. It's been great. It's been obviously perfect. There's no complaints that I can have as far as how I'm surviving now. It'll be a whole new phase what I'm going into next. But I'll make it work. I've always made it, my situation work for me, and I've always done what I can to make my situation work for me. So I'm in good. I'm better today. There was for me when there's the uncertainty, and I think with anyone, when there's uncertainty, there's I'm sorry. I really don't like being askew. Sorry about that. Now I'm just going to the other side. Just give me a second. There we go. That's a little bit. I apologize. So I guess this is what I'm on for 10 minutes. So that half is it. Half of it is askew, half of it not. But anyways, I'm coming into the portion where obviously I'm doing better. I'm in better spirits because of the work that I did yesterday in doing what I can as I can to set up my new situation, or my soon to be new situation. It's still all in flux, and but I'm on top of it, and that's that. Some of the interesting takeaways from being in this current situation is honestly being underestimated in my abilities and my personality, I guess, might be another way to put it. I found out that there are some people, I wouldn't necessarily call them friends, but they're certainly acquaintances. But there's some people who think I'm going to be on the streets, as it were, because I'm what? Lame? I don't know. I was very surprised to hear, like, the guy doesn't have what it takes. And I'm like, really? Really? Like, that's, you really? Okay. Like, you don't know me very well. Apparently, you really don't know me very well at all. Because that was just not my style. But it was interesting to me to hear that someone would have said negativity, but to your own. As far as I'm concerned, if that's how you think, if you think that little of me, it's all good. As far as I'm concerned, I have nothing to prove, by the way. People can think, and I absolutely, because I think of people as they present. So how I present, that's how people will perceive me. So it's a two-way street. And so therefore, if they have this negative uh, uh, underestimation of me, that's okay by me. Like I have no interest in having them reevaluate how they think of me, or to prove them right, or to prove them wrong, that kind of thing. I don't play that game. It's fine. I absolutely have no interest in someone else's negativity. It's absolutely no interest in people's negativity. I'd still be friendly with said acquaintance. That said, I won't have a lot of conversations with said acquaintance, because what's the point? Obviously, you believe what you believe, and if that's how you read people and think it's okay to it's okay. Anyways, I'm sorry I went off on that tangent. There was no big deal about it, because it is no big deal. It's like people can think what they want. My point is being underestimated is sort of always been an element with me, and especially as a disabled person, there's even more of that. Um, and I can see that because there are limitations to how I can get around, what I can do, and how I interact, and all that kind of stuff. Being slower, needing you, what do you call them? Tools for motorability, if that's a word. You know what I mean? Getting around. I need a walker. We'll call it a day. That said, it's all good. Like I had a very productive day. I'm reading myself. I apologize, but I did. It was a productive day, and there is an element of me that, I guess, after what I just said, but there's an element of me that feels like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming a little bit more into focus now. I've got a little bit of time to still work it out, and I'm still working it out. I will give you guys more as it is working itself out. But I just thought, instead of all the mysterioso of what I'm going through, I thought it was kind of obvious what I'm going through. But now you know, because it's no longer obvious. but it was a good day yesterday. I thought I would share. Anyways, that's what's going on behind the patch this morning. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of the day.